Hello and welcome back. We are the Nerd Theorists, and well, we are here today and we're going to be doing a dice balance test. So we've brought on a collection of both our sets of dice because we play a lot of Dungeons & Dragons. We play a lot of all sorts of tabletop games from Kings of War, Warhammer, and lots of role-playing games, not just Dungeons & Dragons, Fallout. So in fact, catch us Fallout. We're doing Fallout, roleplay, Dungeons & Dragons. Like and subscribe, you catch all of it.
I didn't bring the Fallout dice, but they'll be fine. They're
obviously
perfectly balanced.
But as our regular D&D DM, that I keep wondering how balanced are the dice that we're using?
How do they keep rolling that 20s? Are they cheating?
I'm going to find out whether Gaz is actually cheating now.
These are my dice that I use for D&D. I have a combination. We've both got dirt cheap ones that we got from Temu. Then we've got your over the counter, middle of the range ones, and then we've both got our nice. How much were your ones? Because they were.
Mine's a gift.
Oh,
so it's our fancy glass ones, which
28 quid.
Which usually comes in fancy cases or some such. So yeah, we're hopefully
$2.99.
Well, we'll find out which ones are going to be the most balanced. So we'll run those credits and we'll have a find out.
The things we do for content.
Go and get stirring. More salt. More salt. Right. So, for those of you who don't know how to actually balance test dice, basically we've just put a bowl of water, as you'll see here, and filled it with an absolute ton of salt and stirred it all in. It takes quite a while and quite a lot of salt, especially if you like us and do using a bowl that's way too big for the purpose. But still, it's a lesson learned. But yeah, you make it so salty that things float in it, just like the Dead Sea kind of thing. So, but obviously the heavier the dice, the more saltier you need to make it. So we had to kind of keep throwing dice in until they float, basically. So we'll start with our, I suppose, the cheapest sets of dice. I've got these kind of just plain white plastic dice that just bought dirt cheap in a bundle. So throw that one in, and so basically, as you can see now, it's landed on a 9.
9,
and give it a bit of a spin.
See, mine hasn't even landed on a number. Mine's on a point.
Yeah, well, basically, give it a bit of a spin and a roll, and see what kind of side it roughly lands on. Now this one, even though it's landed on 11, the 9's on the next door.
See, mine's going point up every time.
Yeah, but if you just take note of what kind of approximate side it's landing on, and it's landed on a 9 again. Ooh, so see, this one's looking a bit cockeyed. This one again, 11, which is right next to 9. This one's heavy. This one's not balanced right.
I think mine's alright, I think. That was a 6. Oh.
That's a different point.
18, yeah.
No, mine's landing on the same one each.
It is 11 again.
11 and 9 each time. Which is on approximately near the 1 side for any critical failures, so we'll put that one to one side.
Yeah, no, mine looks good.
Alright, so there's one of your cheaper dice. So one of my next kind of cheaper dice, this was actually in the same bundle, but it's kind of a swirl of colours. So it's like a subtle swirl of slightly lighter colours in there. You can see a little bit of light pink in there with the kind of deeper pink. So let's try
and
that
one. This is one of my go-to for D&D. This is my bone. Before I got this set, this was my favourite. This is now my favourite. The trouble is, we've just discovered this is so bloody heavy that there isn't enough salt in Sainsbury's to float that one. So we're not going to test that one.
It's also an oversized D20.
It is.
So yes.
Oh no!
That one's heavy as well. Oh no.
We'll never know.
Whoa. How fortunate for you.
You do need a lot of salt.
a lot of salt. We've used best part of a tub of salt in this bowl. So yeah, so 12 on that one. See what else this comes up with. A 10, which is right next door to 12 again. 12, 10, it's that same side again. Not 20, but 12's only just there, look. So 12 again.
So,
all right, that one's heavy
Dave
as well.
and Andrew, if you're watching this, what we're basically finding out is that my dice, as a player, all seem fine. The DM's dice, however...
These are the dice I don't use, so we'll find out the ones later on.
Right, so this one, I've only bought the D6, but these were literally dirt cheap. So it's a 6 and a 3. Oh, 3. 4.
Seems a fair spread.
6.
A
1. See, this
that's
seems to be alright. So, price-wise, it doesn't seem to make any difference.
Alright, so
But
if I go up to my kind of middle-of-the-road ones then, so I've got these ones which were advertised as nebula dice, if you kind of focus on that, if it will. Oh, it did for a second. There you go. So it's just kind of sparkly and has a little bit of swirl of colour in there. So yeah, kind of middle of the range. I did order them online, but they weren't kind of dirt cheap.
or Diepcher,
Deep
which is German for dirt cheap.
well, no, don't hold us to that. But alright, so a 3 and 19 next door to a 3. Have all my dice weighted? That didn't really spin properly. There we go. 3-ish again. Alright. It's that same kind of similar side. Yeah. It's not far away from a 3 each time. Yeah, it's not far off at all. Alright, this one's not great on the balance either, and there's 3 again practically. Oh, right, okay, that's not great.
Right, this is one of my middle of the road, sparkly blue. Now this one, what is going
heavy.
on?
Have you just got really heavy dice?
Look, all of these, look, none of them float.
How convenient for you.
I just have a really heavy set of dice. Well, this test is rubbish. Right, I'm going to get my expensive ones out.
Alright, well, if we're going expensive...
These are my new ones that I just bought yesterday.
Oh, go on then.
From Roll It in Scarborough. I must give him a mention, he gave me a free pack of magic cards. Right, so, these will be interesting because these are resin of salts, but they actually have dried flowers inside them.
It'll be very interesting to see whether that makes it heavier or lighter on the side.
So I can't imagine that for pound, I can't imagine that a dried flower and resin weigh the same, which would make you think that wherever the flowers are is going to throw off the balance. So, 10.
Flowers down.
18, which is the opposite side, I think, isn't it? That looks promising.
Yeah. Flowers up though. That's...
1.
I'll give him a good spin.
16. 11.
Well, this doesn't seem bad actually.
No, this is actually quite promising. But the one that I wanted
up
to...
again though, hang on. That's...
Now this one, this is the D6. And as you can see, faithful viewers, all the flowers are at the 6. They've all sunk. It's obviously been that way up. Or maybe they float and it was that way up, I don't know. But all the flowers are there. So, depending what's heavier, flowers or resin, you would think... Yeah, flowers down. Flowers down.
So... it's not wanting to spin much though in the water though. Oh, there you go. They landed.
Well, just out of interest, put flowers up and see if it wants to turn. Oh no, it doesn't really.
Not massively. It's not. like it's really weighted on that side heavily and wants to tip over.
No, you would think that resin would weigh more than the flowers, so the area that, although I suppose the flowers,
Or vice
the resin
versa.
would soak in.
There's not a great deal of difference in
No.
weight between them.
No.
That's
that's
quite
good.
interesting. That's quite good. Well, my more expensive side of the dice. Where's my D20 for these gone? Have I lost my D20? Wow, that's a serious question. They're not them.
All my dice are very salty.
I've already had that out. That's why I can't find it. Here we are. This is my more expensive range. Again, that kind of resin or glass. You know, I'm not sure if it is proper glass. On my sister will know. So again, they were a gift. But as you can kind of see in that shot when it kind of focused in, they are kind of on one side. All the sparkly bits within. Is definitely one side or the other. Now, the sparkly bits on this is more on the 20 side. So we'll see if the sparkly bits are heavier, I'll be getting more nat ones. That's on the next door one. This is the one I use regularly for when I'm DMing, by the way. So if I'm getting more nat ones, I'm changing dice. That's on the 20 side. That's in the middle, pretty much. That's next to a 20 side. This is pretty even, really. Yeah. I'm impressed. So, as what we've seen so far, is the more expensive ones, even though they seem to be one side different to the other, they seem pretty well balanced.
Which, I suppose, if you're spending more money on dice, you would hope that they would test them. If you're buying dirt cheap ones. Although my dirt cheap ones were alright. But then, when you've got a dirt cheap one that is like that, and it is just solid colour, there isn't going to be much change. As long as the mould's the right shape.
You'd have thought that, but yet my dirt cheap ones, which were solid, were definitely landing on the same side all the time. Well, that's really interesting.
But that is transparent. You can see it's solid all the way through. You might have a dirty grey air bubble in them.
Oh, well, that is true. Hang on, I've got some translucent ones. Here we go. Look, in that again, that same pack of that came with the white ones and the pink ones that I tested earlier. This was in the same pack. It was just a great big bundle of dirt cheap dice. So this one's translucent. We can't see any air bubbles. Just holding up to the light now. No. So let's have a look. Oh, and it sinks. We'll never know.
But they're from the same pack as...
That's the same pack as these.
So that would say to me that they do have an air bubble in them if those ones float.
If these ones float and that one doesn't. Yeah, okay.
Explain it. Right, and the other one I want to test is these are from Warhammer 40k Kill Team. So these are official Warhammer merchandise dice. Warhammer merchandise dice.
Dice.
So you would hope... Oh, there's little air bubbles caught in the... That's going to sink, isn't it, as soon as I take those air bubbles off?
Yeah, it's clinging onto an air bubble for its dear life.
Wow.
Like a life.
They are some seriously heavy dice.
No, you say that, but then the tiniest of air bubbles that were keeping it aloft. Aloft? Is it still aloft?
Now, what's concerning is even with me shimmying it, it kept landing on 5. Look, it keeps coming back to the 5.
Oh, yeah. Whereas it's kind of sunk to the bottom. It
Well,
wants to go to that side.
me and Tom are about to have a game of Kings of War where I will be using these dice. So, if I keep rolling 5s, there's going to be fingers pointed.
Yeah.
I am very salty, and I've just rubbed my eye.
Oh dear, don't do that. All in all, I think that's pretty conclusive that the more expensive dice that we've bought were really well balanced.
Yes, and if you're going to buy cheap ones, buy translucent cheap ones. Is translucent the right word?
Yeah.
Transparent.
No, transparent is completely see-through. Translucent is you can kind of see through.
All right. Well, yes. If you're going to buy cheap ones, make sure you can see through them and make sure there's no air bubbles in them.
We reckon, because they were too heavy to actually test.
Yeah. And my favourite dice are too heavy to test.
In the amount of salt that we currently have available to us. But
it was all of one of them.
Near enough.
350 grams of salt. Use a smaller bowl.
Smaller bowl, if you want to do it.
We waste salt, so you don't have to.
You're welcome. So, well, on that wonderful note, we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching and listening.
Take care.
Thanks for watching a bowl for the last 10 minutes. I'm going to rinse my dice.